charge the same target. So we'll do another quick example. We got these two guys here and this entire unit. This is where some of the flexibility of having a whole unit available will present itself. So we got a whole unit of Wolves of Ouroboros, and they're facing off against Wolf Lord Morag and Megalith. Okay, so this is the officer. That's just the unit leader. He's the officer. So at the beginning of your turn, you say, I'm activating the Wolves of Ouroboros, right? Once you've done that, you declare the officer is giving the press forward order.
Okay.
That means all the models in the unit have the choice of running or charging. They don't have to charge the same model.
Oh, okay.
So if you look at the Wolves of Ouroboros, no, I didn't. Of course I didn't add them. Wolves of Ouroboros, they are speed
6.
6. So if they're charging, they're going to charge how far?
9.
9, in a straight line. I'm going to get to a little more detail about the charging here as well, but what is the range of their melee weapon?
2.
Okay, so first, to declare a target for your charge, for it to be legal, the model has to see it. Models can only see in their front arc, unless they have a special rule, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So for example, this guy could charge Wolf Lord Morag or Megalith. This guy, because of the weird way he's facing, for whatever reason, can only charge Megalith legally, because that's the only guy he can see.
Yeah.
Okay? So, I'll control this guy first, just to show you how it's done, and then you can decide how to work the rest of the unit. Okay? Because moving units, it's a fine art, but it's a lot easier than it sounds. So he issues the order. This guy has the option to run or charge. He declares that he's charging Megalith. You turn and face. Okay. So, it's a little wobbly. So, with the turn and face, you just want to turn and face in a way that you can complete the charge, right?
Okay.
So say I want him to charge over to this side, right? Just to make sure there's space for all these guys. So he's going to turn and face that direction, and then he's going to charge. He can charge up to 9 inches. It's important. He doesn't have to charge the whole way. So he can measure out. He's got plenty of speed to get there. So he goes up to here, and then at the end of that movement, he turns and faces directly.
Okay.
Okay, it's an important stipulation. So at the start of it, you can turn and face him as long as it's going to be a legal charge. Charges towards the target, and then he turns and faces. Okay? Alright, so I've done that guy. You do the rest of them.
Charging him?
Anybody you want, as long as they can see them, right?
Okay, so 9 inches?
Is the farthest they can go, yes.
Is the farthest? So I guess from the middle of the base or from anywhere on the black?
As long as it's in the black, yes.
Okay.
Like this guy can see him and he can see him, so he can charge either of them.
Mm-hmm. So in the range of 2.
Yeah.
Up to there.
Yep. So once again, I mean, it's a minor detail. Most of the time when you're playing that won't matter, but just for the case of doing it totally legally, you turn and face the direction you're going,
Mm-hmm.
he charges, ends his movement wherever you want him to move, and then he directly faces.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
So other dudes, and also you usually just tell your opponent, I mean, this would be reversed because you'd be controlling your guys, but whatever. He charges Wolf Lord Morag, that's what you declare, right?
Okay.
Okay?
So he's gonna
He
charge.
turns and faces the direction that he's charging.
Turns and faces.
Then he moves up to his 9 inches. And then he faces directly, which he's practically doing now anyways, right?
Yep.
Okay? Okay. So turn and face.
Yep.
Move up to 9 inches.
Can I split the 9 inches or no?
No. When you're charging, has to be in a straight line for the distance. You get 2 turns. A turn at the beginning and a turn at the end.
Okay.
The turn at the end you have no control over. It has to be directly to face. Turn at the beginning has to only be able to land you where your melee range is.
And could I, since that's 9 inches right there, could I run behind him or no?
Choice of words, run, yes.
Oh, okay, but
Charging?
Charging, no.
No, well, here's... Sorry, I bumped the camera there. Let me just make sure it's still looking. Okay, so that's a very good question. That's actually a really good question. So you can't move through Megalith's base, right? We talked about that before.
Yeah.
They don't have a special rule that allows that. What you can do is sometimes you can charge past a model to get what's called a backstrike bonus. It makes them easier to hit. So we need a little proxy. We're going to use this for the time being. So that's as far as you can go, 9 inches, right?
Mm-hmm.
The first stipulation for charging is once the target's in your melee range, you can't end the charge when it's out of your melee range or line of sight. Okay?
Okay.
So this is too far, right? Because you can see there's the front line.
Yeah.
He's going to be out of line of sight. So you can go to there. That's no problem. Maybe about, what, there?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's fine. The other thing you have to worry about is Megalith has a melee range, right?
Yeah.
So if you pass through that at any time, he gets to make what's called a free strike, and it's bad, right? So he's got 1 inch melee range. We can put it up there, we can see, no, it looks like that's fine, right?
Okay.
So if he ends his movement there, he will be in line of sight, in melee range of Megalith, in his back arc. We just have to determine whether or not he has enough movement to do that, right? And sometimes that's very important, because something can be high def. So put this down and it looks fine to me. You can do that. So charges straight, turns and faces. He will get a back arc bonus to attack.
Okay.
Okay? So continue.
Yeah.
That's a very good question.
So I guess. Good. So turns faces.
Yep. The direction he's going. Charges up to his 9 inches. Once again, it's like anywhere from 2 inches or closer is fine.
Okay.
And farther or closer, whatever you want. Sometimes it's just positioning. You want the model to be closer, just like
Yeah.
be a problem for later or whatever.
Be a little bit farther so other guys can fit in.
Okay.
Then turns.
Turns directly to face. That's important. Turns
Okay,
to
directly to the front though?
What? So imagine a center point in the middle of the base,
Yeah.
and a center point in his that runs through the front tick that's halfway through the left and right. So that has to line up like a line.
Okay. So no. He can turn,
Yep.
face, run,
Charge.
charge.
Yeah. Terms are important, and because if you're running, you just run 12 inches in any direction, right?
Yeah.
Try that. Try with one of the models now. Now that you've practiced some charges, try just running with the model.
Running would be 6.
Double, remember, for runs?
Oh, 12. Or,
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be in a straight line. You can break it up into as many little segments as you want.
So.
And sometimes sometimes there's very good reasons to run with models, even though they could potentially successfully complete a charge. Sometimes there's scenario elements, like there might be a flag here or a zone or something, and you need to get models over there to contest it.
Okay.
So maybe this guy has to get over here to contest an element, just run him over there.
Okay.
Or, alternatively, you run him over. Another thing is like, maybe you're trying to block models in, or just position models so that you have a sort of like deeper presence on the battlefield.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe this guy, he wants to run just to get back here, right? So that you're kind of like pushed further up the table or something.
Yep.
Okay. Is this another little point? This is the unit leader. We need to look up his command range, because this is going to be important when it comes to what's his command.
His command. CMG?
Yeah.
7.
It's 7. Okay, so that means that at the end of your movement, all the models in the unit need to be within his command range.
So he'd have to move?
He's going to have to run, probably. Or he might be able to charge Megalith and be within 7 inches of that guy. One other thing, this is just a special rule that you're not aware of because you have to read the back of the card. But this guy, the flag bearer, his special rule is that if he's within 5 inches of the unit leader, or in this case the officer, he gets plus 2 inches to his command.
Okay.
So as long as you run this guy within 5 of him, all the models just need to be within 9.
Yeah, that would be about in.
Yep.
If I would grab about there.
You can run or you can charge probably there as well, right?
Okay, so charge would be 9.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep, that's good. We can always measure that. He does have to end in his melee range if he's going to get a successful charge. So you can do like that. That's fine. Just has to be a little closer. That's all.
Yeah.
Okay, just run with the rest of them then.
Okay.
Obviously, this guy you're going to want within 5 inches of the unit leader.
This. Turn. Run. Turn.
Same thing with charging past Megalith. When you're running past somebody, you have to take their melee range into consideration. And it's usually just like you check with your opponent. You're like, I think he could run through there and not trigger a free strike, and your opponent would be like, yeah, sure, you're fine. But if he's going to contest it, then you put this down, because Wolf Lord Morag has a 1-inch melee range, and the ends of these are 1 inch. So you can do that, and then you can be like, well, I'm going to run 60 here, and then 40 here, and he's like, yep, you're fine, nobody can touch you. Right?
Okay.
That sort of thing.
And turn to end?
Yep. Oh, is he he can't be charging him, because he's made a
Yeah.
non-straight movement.
Okay,
He's just
so
running, but if you're running, you get to decide the model's facing any way you like. It's only with charges that you need to directly face the target when you charge.
And directly facing the target only really... Does that allow you to attack them, or does that do anything to you?
It's just a stipulation of charging.
Okay.
It's kind of like a drawback in a way, because with this guy you can run and you can face any direction to face any threat, right? Whereas this guy's like, his focus is on this model, so his facing is set.
Okay.
That might expose him to attacks in other ways or something.
Okay, so I guess you would go right there and turn it.
Yep. Another thing to consider, I mean, I don't want to get too complicated, but this is the officer, this is the unit leader. If this guy dies, this guy will immediately become the unit leader. So you usually want to have the unit leader and the officer close enough that he can take over and not lose control of parts of the unit.
Yeah, so will we want to charge with a unit leader, or
Sure, you can if you want. Ian, this is mostly to show you how the mechanics of movement work, but it's bleeding into how units function and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to charge Dude Pants here?
Dude Pants, yes.
Wolf Lord Morag.
Right
Okay,
there.
that looks good. And then you got these last two guys.
I guess he can run.
Yep.
So turn. That no, just
He's just running, right?
run there,
Okay.
and then
I guess it's important, I'll just note that whenever a movement is made or something like that, it's just important to make that what you're doing clear to your opponent. So you just say, this guy's running, I'm going to run this way, and I'm just going to avoid his melee range. I got enough movement to run to here, right? And your opponent's like, yeah, totally, sure. And you're good to go. Okay, and then you just run your flag guy so that you can help the leaders out. Okay?
Yep.